Hello everyone, my name is Summer Burton from Literacy Link South Central, and I'm pleased to welcome you to the webinar, Mapping the Local Landscape, on behalf of your Local Employment Planning Council. Local Employment Planning Councils, or LEPCs, are pilot projects currently underway across the province of Ontario. Scheduled to run until September 2018, these pilots are funded in part by the Government of Canada and the Government of Ontario. Literacy Link South Central is a partner in the Local Employment Planning Council along with the Elgin, Middlesex, Oxford Workforce Planning and Development Board. We represent the LEPC that covers the London Economic Region, which includes the counties of Middlesex, Oxford, and Elgin. Across Ontario, local employment planning councils are attempting to strengthen the connection between the labour market demands expressed by employers and labour market data, and the community of service providers that support job seekers. To do this well, we must all have a working knowledge of two things: local labour market information, or LMI, and how to plan our services to prepare people for employment within our individual communities. To that end, we're happy to bring you today's webinar, the second in a series that provides an overview of recently produced labour market reports. In today's webinar, we'll also share a series of tip sheets and videos and investigate how we can work together collaboratively and effectively as a community to respond to labour market needs. The December 2016 Shopping the Retail Sector report describes what businesses are included and what opportunities exist within the retail sector. We tend to think of going to the mall or to a big box store when we think of retail, but it actually refers to any business that sells either a product or a service to someone for his or her own use. This report reminds us that the retail sector has a broad scope, including stores and restaurants, salons and gas stations, financial providers, and auto mechanics. The retail jobs discussed in the report include opportunities for advancement at various levels, from entry-level to supervisory positions, and eventually management. According to Statistics Canada, retail sales in the country have increased nearly 2.5% from 2015 to 2016, showing signs that the sector continues to grow. From this, we can assume there will be ongoing opportunities for jobs and careers within the retail sector. For many of our clients in the Employment Ontario system, retail positions can be a realistic entry-level position. Consumers can easily buy services and goods both in a store and online. The retail sector, therefore, is in a constant state of change and under pressure related to global and online competition. By all reports, jobs in the retail sector continue to be on the rise. But when forecasting the future in this sector, or any sector really, we have to ask ourselves, how will automation impact us? Already, we're seeing electronic self-checkouts, online banking, and a wide-scale use of apps that can bring shopping right to your doorstep. Business owners will need to continually look for innovative and dynamic ways to engage and maintain customers. Can you see the role of employees in tomorrow's retail sector? The human factor will play an even more important role in the future world of retail. In light of competition from other services and in light of increasing automation, it's not surprising that basic good customer service will be what attracts people from one service to another. Employers already see the value in their staff having soft skills and a strong work ethic. The characteristics you see listed here. We can expect that these skills will increase in value, and employers will put their focus on employees who can demonstrate them. Knowing this, as you prepare people for the workforce, how do you get clients these skills if they don't already have them? How do we prepare clients to talk about these skills to employers during their job search process? The January 2017 report about personal support workers shares a positive career outlook for those who are inclined towards this type of work. Personal support workers, commonly referred to as PSWs, work in a variety of settings, including private residences, long-term care homes, and hospitals. As boomers head towards retirement age, jobs in the healthcare field are becoming increasingly important. According to Statistics Canada, over the 5-year period of 2007 to 2011, there was a gradual increase in the number of healthcare jobs, especially PSW jobs. As our overall population ages, we can expect an increase in jobs related to supporting health and well-being to continue. Of special interest in this sector is the lack of males pursuing a career choice as a personal support worker. In a recent article in the Globe and Mail, reporter Erin Anderson stated, "The failure to draw more men into these jobs is a missed opportunity. As boomers age, a more gender-balanced workforce will better serve the increasingly diverse demographic of seniors requiring care. For young men with less education, unemployment rates have risen while wages have fallen. They need to look beyond the disappearing manufacturing jobs for work." The Human Resources and Skills Development Canada's Occupation Projection System states that a PSW is going to be in high demand over the coming years. It's also predicted that at least until 2020, there's going to be a shortage of workers in this occupation. The two most prominent reasons why this shortage is going to occur are replacement demand due to current healthcare workers retiring and expansion demand due to Canada's aging population. A third driver of the growing demand for personal support workers is the Ontario government. There has been recognition at a provincial level around the critical role of PSWs in addressing the fiscal challenges currently faced by Ontario's healthcare system. In the recently released 2017 Ontario budget, the government committed to providing support and relief for caregivers by funding additional support worker services and nursing services to allow people to remain in their homes. Through this financial commitment, we can anticipate the need for personal support workers will not only remain, but grow. Considering that personal support workers often work with physically incapacitated and vulnerable populations, it's not surprising to see a long list of soft skills required to be successful in this type of work. Soft skills required for this work include empathy, honesty, flexibility, professionalism, an ability to problem solve, and good communication skills. This list is common to many other areas of work. Job seekers will need to know how to profile their strengths in the area of soft skills. How and where do we talk about these skills with individuals who are looking for work? And if someone wants to develop and strengthen a soft skill, such as problem solving or communicating across different generations, how could they do that? The May 2017 report, Skilled Trades in the Construction Sector, outlines current trends in key areas of the construction trades, sharing predictions for employment growth in specific subsectors. With an eye on technological advances in construction, the report also looks at the effect of innovation on the current labor market and how tradespeople will need to grow the skills they need to respond to these changes. There are over 20,000 people currently employed in the construction sector within the London Economic Region, or LER. Of those, the vast majority, over 13,000, are considered specialty trade contractors, while roughly 5,000 work in construction of residential and non-residential buildings, and just over 1,000 work in heavy and civil engineering construction. Since specialty trade contractors are the most represented group, it's worth mentioning that these tradespeople are primarily engaged in the highly skilled and specialized activities needed in the construction and renovation of buildings and structures, such as masonry, painting, or electrical work. According to BuildForce Canada, the average construction firm is quite small. In the residential sector, nearly 70% of firms have fewer than 5 employees. In the non-residential sector, almost 50% have 5 employees or less. As I just mentioned, technological innovations are impacting construction just as they are other sectors. Prefabrication, an increase in the production of longer-lasting, more durable materials, and the use of more technologically advanced machinery is changing the way construction is done and will be done in the future. So what does that future look like? The increase in prefabrication is expected to result in a need for fewer laborers on site, while the need for supplier-based training and specialized installers increases. As the lifetime of materials used in construction lengthens, the demand for repair and restoration work will be reduced. As our population ages, retirements will impact the construction industry in a significant way. The average age of Canadian construction workers in 2016 was 41 years old, and in Ontario it's estimated that a total of 73,000 jobs will need to be replaced due to retirement between 2011 and 2019. According to BuildForce Canada, the largest growth in southwestern Ontario is expected in the non-residential construction sector, with an anticipated 4,900 new jobs available in the field between now and 2020. Planned nuclear refurbishment work and other utility projects will help to lead this growth, while residential construction is anticipated to cycle down. Local infrastructure announcements are also expected to impact the industry, including 54 transit-related projects that will be happening within the City of London, including the city's new rapid transit plan, the replacement of bus shelters in the city, and construction to revitalize Dundas Street into a pedestrian-centered space. The BMO Centre is being expanded to include 2 new indoor soccer fields. Construction of the first phase of the on-track elevated park in St. Thomas began in April 2017, and the new 3,000-foot Elgin County Heritage Centre will be constructed this year as well. There's a lot going on in the construction industry here in the local economic region of London. As these changes impact the construction sector as a whole, specific skills will be needed by those pursuing a career in construction trades. Most notably, technological advances mean that more tradespeople are required to have strong computer literacy skills and an ability to work with sophisticated systems. Strong math skills remain a critical component in all areas of the construction trades, and people with project management skills are sought out for the efficiencies they bring to work plan management and the scheduling of both people and supplies. With jobs in specialty trade contracting to be most prominent, the ability to continually gain knowledge in a specific area, to work independently, and to organize a workload and schedule are important. As many tradespeople will be working in small construction firms with 5 or fewer employees, skills related to working successfully in a small team environment, such as communication and problem solving, are critical. Have you heard of the 4th Industrial Revolution? What role will cryopreservation specialists and end-of-life therapists play in the healthcare field of tomorrow? The Local Employment Planning Council has produced a series of fact sheets that include this information and much more. They're a great resource for job seekers to learn about required skills, industry trends, and employment outlooks in 6 key fields, including healthcare, manufacturing, sales and service, software development and computer services, trades, transportation and equipment operators, and management. All these fact sheets and more can be found on the Work Trends website using the link shown on your screen. Time for some more questions. Do you know what non-technical transferable skills employers in finance or agriculture value most? What resume advice someone working in the logistics or digital technology field would offer others hoping to join their team? To help support job seekers in preparing for careers in some of the London Economic Region's top sectors, the Local Employment Planning Council has also created a series of career-focused videos. Available on YouTube, these videos feature employers from agriculture, financial services, transportation and logistics, manufacturing, public health, and the tech sector. With these videos, job seekers can get the inside edge and information they need to make informed choices about resume development, interview preparation, and key skills for their desired career. You can access them through the link on your screen or by searching for the Local Employment Planning Council on YouTube. A key part of preparing individuals for the labor market is matching their existing skills to those that are required in today's labor market locally. But what if people need to build their skills in order to be able to take advantage of available jobs? If you're in a position in which you assist individuals in entering the labor market, you need to know where they can go to build the skills they need. Sometimes clients have the skills they need to get the job they want, but they don't always have the ability to communicate that they have those skills. For this reason, most, if not all, employment agencies will help clients practice their interviewing skills. However, there may be other places in our workplace preparation system where the communication of skills can be explored and reinforced. Does your organization assist clients with this important skill? If so, great. And if not, do you know where the other local agencies are that do? We also need to remember the importance of transferable skills. It's not always obvious to clients or to employers how certain skills can be transferred from one application to another. For example, the client who's coached a hockey team may be able to demonstrate excellent leadership skills, communication, and organizational skills. In the last slide, we talked about the importance of clients having good communication skills and of local organizations knowing where to send clients when they need additional support. It's important that there be good communication within any organization, but it's also important to have good communication between agencies. We know that often people will need to use services from more than one agency and from across different sectors. So do these different services communicate with each other? And if so, how well? Increased communication between agencies can lead to improved customer or client services, shortening a client's journey back to the labor market. Most people would agree that effective communication plays a key role in the successful delivery of services. But it's not always easy to answer the question, how do you effectively communicate with other agencies? To help, we've produced the guide to developing effective communication between Employment Ontario and non-Employment Ontario service providers. Our goal in producing this resource was to identify some good practices that are already in use to facilitate communication within and among different agencies. Good communication is also an essential ingredient in effective service integration or planning. For many people, a casual conversation with a colleague who works for a neighboring agency increases awareness. But is it service coordination? It is actually the beginning of service coordination, but as community agencies, we can do more to improve the client experience. The LEPC has created a service coordination continuum, which lays out 5 levels of service coordination in a variety of categories, including planning and service delivery. The chart on your screen shows what a community looks like when it's at level 1, and how different elements change as a community moves towards level 5. Who uses this sort of tool? You might want to try using it at your next staff meeting. Ask the question, where do you think our community is in terms of service coordination? It can be interesting to hear how different staff members respond, especially if there are differences of opinion, which there usually are. Once your team has come to a consensus about where on the continuum your community falls, the question begs to be asked, what could be done to move us to the next level? A big piece of moving towards level 5 is a coordinated effort in terms of service planning. Not everyone has a responsibility for service planning, but good service planning can have an impact on almost every position within an organization. There can be many reasons to engage in service planning, but often the goal is to improve the client experience, to knit together 2 or more services so that they're easier for clients to access and complete. This slide shows 8 steps to achieve coordinated service planning. It starts, of course, with having the right individuals and organizations at the table, and not just some of them, but all of them. Next, ensure that everyone is clear on why you've come together, what the purpose of service planning is, and what issues you're trying to address. In step 4, we conduct an environmental scan to identify what services are currently being offered. It's a great way to both learn about one another and begin identifying gaps. Then ask yourself, how will your group know when they've achieved the goal they set out to achieve? What does success look like? Next, dig into the details. What role will each organization play in assisting the client, both in workload and any applicable finances? How will you field test the service you've developed? And finally, how will you document its successes and challenges to learn from the experience? So, where do we go from here? We have fresh new labor market information and some great guidelines for how to work together across our community to respond to it. We hope you'll use these resources to work with each other and the local Employment Planning Council to find new ways to support employers and job seekers as a coordinated, collaborative system. We invite you to visit the Local Employment Planning Council website using the link on your screen, which will take you directly to our strategic plan and a host of associated resources. There, you can access the labor market reports we discussed in today's webinar under the heading Labor Market Information and Intelligence, and the Service Coordination Continuum and Guide to Effective Communication under the heading Sharing Best Practices and Promising Approaches. Thank you for joining us today for this discussion of LMI, communication, and service planning. We would love to hear your feedback on today's webinar and invite you to respond to our short 5-question survey using the link you see on your screen or in the description below. As an added bonus, if you're watching this video before Monday, May 22nd, we invite you to take part in our draw for a $50 gift card as our thanks for your feedback. Just be sure to include your name and contact information in your survey if you'd like to be included in the draw. Thank you again, and if you'd like more information about anything discussed in today's webinar, we invite you to contact your partners in the Local Employment Planning Council using the information on your screen.